Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Divorce-a-Palooza. If you're getting divorced and you are thinking of selling your house, buying a new house, or both, this is a great episode for you because we are going to talk about myths and truths about real estate. And I'm so excited to have my guests here. They are Debbie Glickman and Tami Levy, and Debbie and Tami are a team of real estate agents for Glickman Levy Residential. They work for Ad Properties. And hi, guys.
Hi,
There. Thanks for having us.
so excited to be
Thanks
here
Happy
so much.
Divorce-a-Palooza.
and Happy New Year.
All right, I want to tell everybody watching that I have known these girls for a really long time. Debbie, at least 15 years, 10, 15 years. Tami, I feel like we knew each other
I know, I don't know where we
several years
met
ago,
years
but
ago.
But we're all entrepreneurs. Tami, Debbie, and I all have had our own businesses. And then both of them went into real estate several years ago. And then they teamed up 3 years ago. But together they bring 16 years of real estate experience. They've done over 220 transactions together. They have 140 million in sales. And they're just doing amazing. And I'm not even surprised at all because I
Love it.
think you guys are both great listeners. You're so positive. You're so energetic. And that energy is really important to people who are facing divorce.
For sure.
So you got to have it because divorce is scary and depressing and sad. But when you bring in your kind of energy and good listening skills, it really could be a game changer for someone.
Thank
So
you.
tell my listeners and viewers what area you cover.
Well, we really cover pretty much any area. We seem to concentrate basically on the North Shore, but we go like, I mean, God, I've sold a house in Lindenhurst. We go as far north as,
Gurnee, as
Gurnee.
far south as the city.
Yeah. As far,
Western suburbs, Oak
yeah.
Brook. Okay.
Arlington Heights. We do,
Yeah, but I don't know that we would go to Oprah because I don't know it so well.
yeah.
We would be doing
Okay.
our
So
the
really the North Shore of
yeah,
Chicago and beyond.
yeah,
And then the city.
Yeah.
yep, sure.
Okay.
Both lived in the city for a long time, so we know the
And our
city
kids
really
are
well.
living in the city
Yep.
now, so that's
So always a
And
good
you guys
experience.
both live on the North Shore.
Yes.
correct.
Okay.
Debbie grew up in the North Shore and I've lived here for 27 years.
Yeah. So
And still haven't lost the accent.
that's what makes
I've
it.
lived in America longer, but I've
I
lived
know.
I've lived in
When
Chicago.
she's around South Africans, it's much stronger. Yeah.
All right. So tell me a couple of myths and truths that we need to know about real estate that's going to help people.
I'll say the myth.
Okay.
So there's a big myth that you have to have 20% to put down when you purchase a house. And the fact is,
The fact is that you can put down as little as 3%. If you're a veteran, I don't think you even have to put down any money at all. If you're a doctor, you don't have to put down any money at all. A lot of lenders have programs specifically for medical professionals and for veterans
and first-time
and
buyers.
first-time home buyers. And so we always encourage our buyers to check with their lender to see what kinds of programs that they have that are the best fit for them.
And we
So
also
this is really important because there's probably people getting divorced who are listening and they're like, well, I don't know if I can afford to buy a home. Well, now you know. And also, do you guys help people find rentals?
we do.
We do. And a lot of times a rental will make sense when you're in transition, because you're not really sure where you want to live, or you're just, you have to vacate your marital home. And so it sometimes it happens very quickly, and oftentimes it's easier just to rent for a year
And
while
they-
you're looking. So
yeah.
And also you might be trying to figure out where you want to live, if you want a house, if you want a high rise, if you want an apartment, a townhome, and you're
Right.
not really sure. So this way you're not tied into
Right.
anything.
Exactly.
Okay, give me another myth.
Selling in the spring is the best market
To sell it.
That's a myth.
That's a myth. definitely a myth. And why is that a myth? Well, if you think about it, the winter time, you have much less competition, whether you're a buyer or a seller, right? So in the springtime, most people think that spring is the time to put your house on the market. So everything kind of comes on in the spring. And so your buyer's attention is spread out more. The other thing is if you're a buyer, much better to look in the winter time because
Less
there are
buyers.
less buyers that are looking to buy in the wintertime. So it's a,
Especially in Chicago, where there's
Mhm.
lots of winter birds that go south.
yeah, yeah.
All right. So if someone's listening to this and they're thinking of getting divorced and they're like, I better hurry because I need to put my house on the market right after Super Bowl, you're saying don't worry about it. Do what's right for you at the time and don't be so focused on that statistic.
Yeah, I think the
That's it.
Super Bowl thing used to be back in
Right.
the day, but it hasn't been for years.
And because inventory in the last 5 years or so has been so low, there is, I mean, put it on when you're ready to put it on is really,
Okay. Give me another one.
Um, Price your home as high as you can so that you leave room for negotiation to get it even higher.
So are you guys the kind of real estate agents who price to sell like what it's really worth?
yes. And so here's kind of, we have a strategy
And
and
it really, really works, I
yeah,
have to say.
we've been extremely successful with it, which is if you price we do the research for you. We come to you, we show you kind of what has sold in your area that is comparable. And if you're pricing your house kind of right at that sweet spot, the what we have experienced is that people you get the buzz going and everybody wants like a feeding frenzy. And so you do end up getting more than what it's worth.
So you
And
get
the other,
multiple offers and that drives the price up.
Correct.
it's not a guarantee, but that is
Mhm.
what we have been seeing.
Right.
Because if you price the house right at that sweet spot, that's really the house's market value, right? And then everyone will come and see it. And if it's a beautiful home that's like sell ready and it's priced right, people are gonna, especially in this market, are gonna
And
want it.
and I think the mistake when you overprice your house and everyone's like, oh my God, the market's so hot, there's nothing on the market and it's crazy, then you feel like, I'm so sorry that I'm beeping. I forgot to put everything on do not
I didn't
disturb.
even hear it.
Okay, good. And what happens is
You
that
start
you start chasing the market and people are like, they're afraid to make an offer because they don't want to insult you. They're they're afraid to make an offer because they know it's overpriced.
And
And
also sometimes what happens is if you overprice it, people are then scared off because they know that in this market things have been going for more, so they don't want to go even higher than that.
right.
So, and then on the other
So it ends
side
up
is that
sitting.
so on the other side it ends up sitting, and then people start thinking, what's wrong with the house? It hasn't sold so fast, and then you have to start doing the price drops. And so it really does behoove you to listen to a realtor who tells you the market price. And we really, really are very good at pricing houses.
I mean, we do this every day. This is like, I mean, we live and breathe
Mhm.
selling houses. So
Okay, I remember looking for a house 4 years ago when I moved, and I saw this house. I really liked it. It was so ridiculously overpriced that I was like, I'm not even going to make an offer, even though I want this, because
right.
I'm
Exactly.
so offended. I was like offended that it was that high. I mean, you guys, it was literally almost $100,000 overpriced.
And did you follow it? And did you see what it ended up selling for?
No.
We love to do that.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah,
have
I
to,
should
you'll have
look.
to give us
Okay,
the
so the
address.
address is, no, I'm just
Uh,
kidding.
You know what? Here's the thing is like, we go in and we're very honest with sellers. And sometimes that doesn't, we don't get it because we don't buy a listing. We just don't believe in that. And a lot of times a broker will go in and they're like, oh yeah, well, we can sell it for this price. And we just don't, nobody's happy. And we want you to have a great experience when you work with us. And we would so much rather under promise and over deliver in what we're telling you. We just believe in being completely honest about
And
what your house should be priced at. And oftentimes when we lose a listing to a broker who is kind of, we call it in the business, bought the listing. I mean,
we do,
we watch it.
yeah, we do. We have a house that we didn't
Uh-huh.
get, and it's actually been sitting, it's so overpriced. It's been sitting for like 3 months.
3 months.
Well, you
You
know
know,
what that
the
does?
flip
It like sorry, I didn't mean to
No, no,
interrupt.
that's okay. I just wanted to say on the flip side, as a buyer's agent, because we do work on the buy side and the list side, we are really very, very honest with our buyers. Like if we think the house is underpriced and we can know that it's underpriced because they know that they're going to probably get multiples, we'll say go up to X amount if they can. But if there's a number that's so astronomical, we just say it's not worth it. Then your
Well,
next house will
and
be out there.
the other thing is that when we sit down with a buyer, especially a buyer that is just going through a divorce, we talk about what their goals are. So if this is a 5-year house for somebody, we want them to be in a spot where we know they're going to either break even or make a little money, and that they'll be able to sell it quickly.
Mhm.
If,
Mhm.
if it's a buyer who is looking for their forever home, the strategy then becomes a little bit different, right? Because they're going to be in the house and they'll have a lot of equity, so that in 20 years when they go to sell their house, they have so much equity in the home that
Right.
buy it a little bit higher, it's not going to make a difference in the long run. So, meeting with your real estate broker and talking about what your goals are becomes
Strategizing.
very, very important. And that leads us to the next myth.
That's who
Okay.
The next myth is that if you don't use a real estate agent, you will save money. And I know we have to wrap this up, so I will say that that is absolutely quite quite the opposite.
Yeah. I don't know anybody that has ever said we shouldn't have used a real estate broker because we didn't make it. We would have made more money if we did it on our own.
So you're pretty much paying for yourselves is what you're saying.
Sure,
Sure.
you're paying for our services, and we really do honor the fact that we are a concierge service. We hold your hand. If you don't want your hand held, we won't hold it, but most people do want their hand held because it's the biggest purchase of your life, especially when you're going through a divorce or you're a first-time buyer and
Or you're selling your house and you want to make sure you're going to get every penny
yeah,
that you possibly can,
yeah.
so that both of you can move on with a little bit of money in your pocket, right? So it makes zero sense not to, you wouldn't do surgery on yourself, would you? I mean, but think about
Right,
that
it's
for a
true.
minute, right?
Well, then think
So
about it. No,
yeah.
just kidding.
Okay, you guys, before we close out here, I want to ask you, do you ever work with couples as like a third party neutral? Like these couples are selling their house, they're getting divorced, and you're kind of having to talk to one person, talk to the other. Are you able to do that?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, look, we are therapists wrapped in a different wrapping paper, really and truly. I mean, whether, moving, getting divorced, moving, death of a spouse, those are like the top stressors of life and like period. And, we really, really pride ourselves in holding someone's hand, holding a couple's hand, like just being neutral to both of them so that they both feel like they're being taken care of. And, you know, it can be tricky,
But
but
both pretty good, and we've got our strengths that help us just be very
gentle.
gentle and neutral.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys, thank you so much for being on
Thank you.
Divorceapalooza.
Well, thanks for having us, Jack. We feel so excited to be part of your wonderful community that you've built.
We really do. I feel like I need to break out in song, but I don't have a good voice. So
I
going
do.
no, no, no. We're gonna keep it tame.
Yeah. But I have been known to.
Well, right back at you guys. I am thrilled to be working with you and really, really proud to represent you and tell everybody how wonderful you are. Tell everybody who's watching the best place to reach you if they want to call you for a consult.
Well, the best place to reach both of us is by emailing Glickman Levy Residential at atproperties.com. Or you can call me at 847-687-4332.
Or you can call me at 847-344-2857. Or you can just Google us
Yeah,
and you'll find us everywhere.
yeah, yeah.
And you can also find Glickman Levy Residential on Divorced Girl Smiling, which is
Correct.
divorcedsmiling.com. Okay, thank you so
Thank
much again
you.
for being here.
We love you, Jack.
Same to you guys. And to everybody listening and watching, thanks so much, and we'll talk to you real soon.